Proverbs 19 to 21. Well, if you grew up in a Christian home, you probably remember a list of don'ts. That list is probably longer in my memory than yours, but that's what we remember growing up. And then we spend the rest of our adult life wondering, well, how does the Bible speak to that list of don'ts that I seem to have remembered growing up? And here's where the book of Proverbs is often used. So let's use it as an example today. I'm going to read from 20, verse 1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink arouses brawling, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. So let's use the example here of wine. We could also go ahead to 23 verses 29 and following, which has the question, who has woe? Who has sorrow? And then it answers its own question, those who linger long at the wine. We could use numerous examples here of ethical questions, whether it be the tongue, work habits, wealth and poverty. As you've been reading through the Proverbs, there are many examples that we could use here, but let's use wine because it's a good one to illustrate our purpose here, and it's in our text. Here's what we've done so far, at least how it's come out, that I've taken 20 verse 1, which basically says don't. It is one of those don'ts that we can find in the Bible. And then we can add verses to it. Now here's where, to be fair, and this is usually just a matter of good study, you take a look at the word wine in Hebrew, yayin, and you do some cultural background on the word, and you realize that it probably was less alcoholic than by today's standards, and there's a lot of study you can do in trying to figure out how should I treat wine in my own ethical life today. And as we say here, we can also start finding other passages, even in the Proverbs, where wine is associated with poverty, with sorrow, with laziness, with unclear thinking, even sexual immorality. So the point is, we could, if we really want to, come up with quite a list of reasons that the Bible says don't drink. Now, to be fair, and this is again what's done by most people who are being honest with the text, we can also find in this example examples of do use wine. So, for example, Proverbs 31:6, give wine to those who are bitter of heart. Ecclesiastes 9:7, go drink your wine with a merry heart. And again, if we wanted to, we could start finding other passages, Old Testament, New Testament, the use of wine at Passover, Jesus making wine at Cana, on and on we go, and we can start creating a list. And do you see what we've done? Here's the problem. We've created two lists of don't and do, and now here come competing, shall we call it, fundamentalisms. I'm going to do this, and I don't want you to do it either if you join my church. Or, again, you can go the other way. All right, so what do we do with this? I'd recommend that this idea of using the Bible to create lists is in itself not helpful. That was not the purpose of the writer of Proverbs. In fact, one of the best evidences we have for that is it's in 26:4, and it's followed by 26 verse 5. The opposite. Remember that one? It's answer a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him. Answer not a fool according to his folly. I might have switched the order there. But the point is 26 verses 4 and 5 are purposely opposite, saying the opposite thing to cause the person reading it to say, well, which one is it? And the writer smiles and says, there you go. That's my point. And here's my point. The book of Proverbs is not meant to give us competing lists. It's meant to draw us into the awareness that, yes, living life ethically courageous, to be morally courageous, does not mean finding verses that tell me what to do. It means, it's like the illustration of finally crossing the street without holding my mom's hand, that I'm expected to use wisdom as I go into my life, and I don't even ask God what to do because I'm growing in my wisdom. So, and I say that in the right sense, that I'm not, when I say don't even ask God, there will be many ethical questions, and you know this, many ethical choices you make on a given day where prayer will not answer that question. Is that okay? I would say that's exactly the point of Proverbs, that as you learn how to live wisely, you will be navigating between competing lists, but you'll be doing it joyfully, cheerfully, magnanimously, meaning that you are able to see why someone would go over here, you're able to see why someone would go over here, and you're able to do it with love and with patience and with joy. That, I think, is the purpose of, for example, in our reading today, wine is handled the way it is.